Hi, everyone. This is Kate Johnson from the Bookkeeping Side Hustle Group. I'm here live with Heather Ryan. And if you can hear us, give us a thumbs up or say where you're listening from, especially if you're listening from your RV, because today we're going to be talking about building your bookkeeping business from your RV. I am getting my screen set up here. And while I do that, Heather, thanks so much for being our guest today. Can you just share a little bit about your background so we can kind of get to know you before we pick your brain about how someone can do this business and be successful while they're living in an RV?
Sure. Well, first of all, I do live in an RV. I've been nomadic in an RV for 3.5 years. And my background is bookkeeping, and I've added enrolled agent status. So I do a lot of tax returns as well.
Okay. So when did you start your business?
2013.
Okay. And when did you start living in an RV?
September of 2016. You're testing my dates in my head.
Okay. So to be fair, so everyone can hear this, to be fair, you had started your business and had 3 years foundation before you took it on the road.
I'm not.
Oh.
Yes. Theoretically, when I hit the road, I completely shifted my business and lost clientele because of my shift.
Okay.
And my who I was targeting as my client base. And I was fine with that. So to me, if you are already doing bookkeeping or you want to switch, who you're marketing to, don't be afraid to lose clients, because the people that are meant to work with you and who fit with you, they're going to come to you eventually. So
tell us more about that, losing the clients, because you have it several years behind you now, but maybe it was anxious for you at the time, and then I know that there are people for whom that would be anxious. So what kind of client does a bookkeeper lose when they're going on the road?
So the clients that I strictly started taxes
Okay.
when I started the business. I did bookkeeping for other companies, and the taxes was 100% at that time. And I lost clients because I no longer had an office when I hit the road. And I decided that this is the lifestyle choice I was making. And if their philosophy or whatever didn't fit that, then I was okay with it. So I did not have a problem with losing clients. But again, that's like a mindset, I think, maybe just to be prepared for that. And I sort of added the bookkeeping as I went on and grew the business.
Awesome. I want to say thanks to Trisha, who's going to be in her RV starting in April. And then we've got Audrey listening, and Dana, who's currently in her RV in North Carolina. So welcome, y'all.
Nice.
Okay, so first question I wrote down was, what does your RV office look like? Are we seeing your office right now?
You're seeing the back of it.
Okay.
I don't have a special office in an RV. If you've ever been in an RV, they're tiny space. There is no dedicated space for me to work. It's a table that I eat off of, and I whatever socialize with or bake or cook and work. It's all in one. So I don't have anything special.
So you do Zoom calls with your clients, and what they're seeing is what they see.
Correct.
Okay. So some people worry about that, and I know some people might, Intuit has the QuickBooks Live job and TurboTax Live, and I think they actually provide like a backdrop for people.
You can get a backdrop for sure. So I don't worry about it because my target client lives in an RV.
Okay.
So they all understand my home, my lifestyle, my odd hours possibly, lack of internet at times, and it just fits with what I do. So I don't.
I am not going to be living in an RV probably ever, but for sure not for the near future. So
yeah.
I'm just kind of asking questions that I think people might want to hear. So anyone listening, chime in with your questions.
I do agree that a backdrop, I know some people that work with clients that aren't RVers and they do put a backdrop. I know someone who does online teaching and she puts like a fun backdrop for the kids. So that is a great option, but
Okay.
I don't need it. How's
You
that?
don't need it. Awesome. So that means if you say you also eat where you're working right now, so you don't have like a big uh, monitor set up or anything like that. Or you just have your laptop monitor?
Hmm.
Okay. So it can be done without all the monitors. I know some of y'all love to have your like 3 giant monitors, but it can be done if you want to. Um, so yeah, it's just all trade-offs, I guess. I mean, maybe you would be able to be a little bit faster a couple
It,
times a week if you had another one, but you've
it
chosen
is
my
trade-offs.
style.
There are portable monitors you can get, so you don't want to have like a TV size monitor. But there are portable monitors if you wanted a dual monitor that'd be powered by USB and stuff. So
Cool.
there are options.
Um, have you had to make any modifications to your RV to make your business work? It looks like you haven't, but
I haven't, no.
okay. All right. All right. Maybe, hopefully someone was wondering that.
I mean,
Um,
to answer that question also though, this is like customizable. So if you feel like you need to change something in the RV or create an office space, like go ahead. If it fits you,
sure.
Yeah.
Um, so do you work mostly inside of your RV, or do you work outside in the sun or at like the picnic table, or do you go to
Yes.
coffee shops? Where do you
So,
where do you work most of the time?
most of the time I'm probably inside. If the weather is nice, I can be outside. I will not work in the sun because I can't see my monitor.
Okay.
But I will occasionally sit out. Like we have a shade, off the RV. So if I can pull that out, I will be outside at the picnic table if it's nice weather. We also have a pop-up tent that I can sit in outside. So it just depends on the day and where I feel like being. I do not typically work from coffee shops, and there's a reasoning is I'm working on private data and I don't want someone walking by to see anything on my screen.
Okay. That's good to know. All right. So, like I said, thanks Lee for being here, and good luck on your RVing in the future. Got some more RVers. This is like a hot topic.
Nice.
Everyone wants a lot of people come to this group, and several of them say like, I live in an RV, or I'm looking for. I mean, not the majority for sure, but plenty of people to where I was like, I need to find someone to serve the audience who this pertains to. Okay, so I'm just going to read this question I wrote. So, what are some must-haves in terms of technology or apps? What are some nice-to-haves, and then what are ones that I guess, can you tell us all the apps that you subscribe to run your business, and then are any of those because you're an RVer, or does every bookkeeper need them? If that makes sense. Anything about your business that is you would, if you lived in a home, 3 bed,
Yeah.
2 bath kind of home, that you wouldn't do.
Um, Gosh, there's so many apps out there, and it's like personal preference of which ones work better for you.
Okay.
Obviously, I work in QuickBooks, and I also subscribe to Wave as well, and not Wave, sorry, Zero, to support my clients in different platforms. And that would not be any different than elsewhere, obviously. But there's also, I use Asana to help me track my processes
Okay.
and keep track of my monthly clients who I'm doing bookkeeping for, to make sure they're getting the same service each month.
Right.
And other than that, I'm trying to think.
So one of the things I was thinking was like internet. Like, do you have like a hotspot, or do you just use
Ah,
internet through your
gotcha. So
phone?
that's not
Or
an app,
sorry,
but yeah, we
yeah.
can get into
So
that.
what do you pay for, or have you purchased, that you need to
Okay,
run your
got it.
business,
Well,
that you need to run your business, that is unique to being an RV bookkeeper, that a regular bookkeeper
okay.
might not need?
Okay. So, well, you'll need internet, right? Even at home, or
Yep.
sticks and bricks or office, whatever you want to call it. We actually have 3 different cell phone plans. One is our hotspot strictly, which we use probably 90% of the time.
Okay.
But if that does not receive service, we'll switch to one of our other plans. So we have AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And internet for an RVer is a huge topic on its own. And there's so many options out there, and the plans are always changing. So what I have may not be available today.
Okay.
But we do
So,
maintain 3 plans for that very reason, so that we stay connected.
okay. So basically, anyone who's chosen this lifestyle is probably going to be very deep in the weeds of like the RV sub world, and so you'll know, because so the
Yeah,
stay at home mom, or the guy who loves to watch NFL, he's concerned about internet too, and because he
right.
wants to stream his NFL game or whatever. So everyone's solving
Yes,
this problem of the internet.
correct.
Okay.
Well, the NFL game might be solved up by getting satellite TV.
Okay. Okay. True. True. But you're saying, so if someone is going out into the RV world and they're having trouble with internet, probably you don't need to be asking bookkeepers how to solve your problem. You need to be asking the general RV sub
Correct.
community.
There
Okay.
is actually a whole like groups on that topic. There's actually a whole business run by a couple that RV. So yeah, that is like a really hot topic for RVers, staying connected, especially those who work, which a bookkeeper would qualify as. So yeah, you just got to tweak it and make it work. I can offer other options as well. Like if you want to, you can go to libraries or coffee shops. Heck, even McDonald's, has Wi-Fi if you really are in a pinch.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing, if I'm on a public Wi-Fi like that, I have a VPN service. So
Okay. Do you not feel the need to use that if you're on your own hotspot?
correct, because we have a router that we have.
Okay.
So just
This
like
is
in a house or something.
right. Okay. This is all good.
Yeah.
So you said something. Oh, so do you pay for anything like RV related, like those communities that you're in? Is there like a RVing coaching group, or like some like, is there a favorite like RV resource that you had to buy to like learn how to be an RV virtual employee bookkeeper, or not just being working from an RV, or is it all
No,
free?
I mean, there's tons of free Facebook groups out there. There's blogs and YouTube videos that cover this topic. It is a hot topic, so there's
Okay.
lots of free information out there. Um, just join some of them and ask your questions, or even just sit there and read other people's questions, because it's kind of similar to what you already have thinking.
Awesome. Okay, well, so hopefully there was some information in there for those of y'all who are on the very beginning stages of seeing, like, maybe RVing isn't on your horizon for 10 years, but now you kind of know like what you need to start thinking about. So, all right, question about state employment taxes. So what do you do? What do RVers do for state employment taxes? Obviously, this isn't unique to bookkeeping, but what is an entrepreneur, like a solopreneur, or maybe someone who even has a couple of clients? How do you pay state taxes if you're moving around? How does that work?
All my business income runs through where I'm a domicile or resident of. So
Okay, and you get to pick that. Does it change, or
well, my husband and I picked Florida. We
okay,
moved to Florida once we hit the road full time. And so, yeah, people can pick the state they want to. They can pick the state that they previously, lived in, or like are launching from. It's really based on your mail service and who's going to be providing that for you, whether it's a family member, a friend, or you're going to pay, a subscription service.
okay,
And that again, that's like a huge RV question. And we use the term domicile
okay.
because that's
That's the word.
domicile is, yeah, that's like that's the hot word or whatever, maybe legal term. It says it's the same address you're going to vote at, you're going to get your driver's license, you're going to register your vehicles, all of that.
So do you have to be in Florida a certain amount of days, and you get to be in your domicile a certain amount of days?
No,
No.
no, not
Okay.
in the state of Florida.
And you don't incur any sort of a tax burden by being in another state for too long.
No, because I'm not physically working in the state. Like, I'm not going into someone's office and working there.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
difference.
If someone, I don't even know if like the QuickBooks Live Jobs would do this, but like say you hired an employee, do you have anyone that works for you?
Have a contractor.
A contractor.
Mhm.
If you hired, like, because you're in the RV world, if you were to try to do payroll for someone who was in an RV, does that matter? Like, if does them moving around matter? Like, so say someone didn't want their own business, but they wanted to just be a virtual
No.
employee. Okay. Sorry,
No, it
these
would
are all
be.
new for me.
No, that's okay. To me, it's all based off your home address, just like if you were stationary. That's your
Okay.
home, that's your mailing, that's your legal address. That's what we base it off of. The only times it changes is when you're physically going into an office. So if you were a bookkeeper that was going to travel around and go into someone's office and do like cleanup work or something like that, that would change because now you're physically working there, and that's the difference. Otherwise, I am just choosing to travel and my home happens to be parked on different land.
Okay. So could you join, like if you knew you were going to go to Montana for 5 months or something over the summer, could you join a co-working space working on your own clients? Is that the same concept? Because a lot of people use co-working spaces, or is it going into someone else's office and working for them? That's the key.
Yeah, it's going into someone else's office.
Okay.
So
Cool.
that's really how I would qualify it as.
Awesome. Let me check to see if we've got some questions here. Oh, we got Patty here who's already doing her business. Someone asked, what can you claim on your taxes for your home office? Do you try to allocate that?
There isn't one.
There's no allocation.
Lose it.
You lose your home office, Audrey. Sorry about that. Trisha and Audrey are also asking, which specific VPN do you use? Do you have one that you can recommend?
I use Viper, Vyper.
Vyper. Okay, Trisha and Audrey, hope that helps. All right, next question I had, and audience, please feel free to chime in, and we'll ask your questions too, but what's been the hardest part about being a full-time RVer and a virtual bookkeeper? Any struggles, especially as you compared it to the before your RV life and after? Anything hard that you weren't expecting?
I mean, the work obviously doesn't change. I think from both my husband and I, because he also works remotely, internet is our like one stressor. And if we don't have good cell signal or something, that is a determining factor if we can stay somewhere for how long we stay.
Okay.
So that's really like, and I say that is very different from when you're, if you rent an office or in a co-working space or your house, you always have that hard line or whatever. So like, even if your Wi-Fi stops working, you can always go downstairs or something and plug it in.
Right.
And I can't do that. Like I have to move my whole home, or I have to go to a library or the coffee shop to get internet. So that's really probably the biggest thing. Otherwise, my business itself hasn't been a stressor or a change.
Okay. What's it like working on top of each other in the same RV if he has a virtual job too? How did that transition go?
For the most part, we're fine. He has his space and I have my space. The only time we struggle is if we both have to be on phone calls at the same time, because we're in the same space.
Okay.
So we try to not have phone calls at the same time, because otherwise you'll be hearing him talk and vice versa.
Yeah.
We do have, in our particular RV setup, we do have a bedroom and like a living area. So if we have to be on the phone at the same time, I will typically move up into the bedroom to take a phone call or do something and leave him down here in the living area.
Is he one of your clients?
His business is.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if you ran him off, was he one of the ones that you lost when you moved to the RV? No.
Maybe he wishes. No.
Yeah, right. It's like, you're stuck with me, and you will pay. No, I'm just kidding.
He quite appreciates it.
Yeah. Okay. My next question was about the internet, but you have talked fully about that. You've also talked some about the additional security measures. Anything else about that is unique? I mean, are RV parks more like prone to hackers, or I mean, anything in the RV subculture that talks about internet security that we should know?
I mean, so you're kind of touching on, like, I don't ever really join if an RV park has Wi-Fi. Well, number one, it almost never works very well.
Okay.
So we never even bother to join their networks. I could not tell you, if they're safe or not. Okay. We don't even attempt the waters there. But yeah, I mean, again, it's like, if you're going to go to a coffee shop or even a co-working space, just think about the data that you're working on and if it should be protected or not. So try to get a space where you're facing a wall or something that someone's not gonna be able to see your screen. That's my biggest thing.
How much does the Viper VPN cost?
Oh, it was pretty inexpensive. We just renewed it. It was like $60 or $80 for the annual
Okay.
cost.
Okay.
So it's really reasonable.
All right, folks, I hope y'all are enjoying this. We have quite a few listeners here, so please chime in if you have any more questions. Anyone else thinking of becoming an RVer, want to tell us when you're thinking about hoping to do that. I had a question about the concept of like being virtual and being paperless. I assume you have to do that just for lack of space. So my nature is very paper based. I often will like print something so I can write on it. I have not been able to really transition very well to a paperless office. Like it's like, all the fad. Have you had to do that? Were you like that before you started in the RV? Are you diligent about like do you have a scanner? Do you need a scanner? How do you be paperless? Or are you paperless?
I am paperless. Well, maybe not 100%. So again, this is like, as far as bookkeeping is concerned, I am 100% paperless. Statements are all available online. QuickBooks, imports all your book, feeds, connect, directly to the bank. So for that, I am 100%. There is no printing involved. For taxes, I still do get people that mail me paper stuff, and I do have a scanner for that. So.
Okay. So how, during tax season, do you find you have to be stationary? Do you try to stay put during that season to get mail, or are you able to get mail even though you're going all around?
If I plan it, I can still get mail.
Okay. So this is something unique. Everyone listen. So if you have clients that are needing to mail you something, that's something you're going to have to really think about.
Yes. And I have a mail service that actually scans for me. So I can always, like when I receive a piece of mail, they send me an email with the outside of the envelope, and I can say open and scan that, and therefore I get all the documents pretty immediately.
Okay.
The other option is to stay stationary for a month or two. For me, it's tax season, but there's things to be said for staying somewhere for a month or 2 months or 6 months at a time anyway, and then it'll be easier to get mail that way.
Okay.
But otherwise, mail is another hot topic for RVers.
Okay.
You're hitting on all the nails on the head.
I don't even know. I don't know any RVers. This is amazing. Yeah. I'm learning so much. Yeah. My husband was so tickled when he was like, so are we going to go move to an RV? I'm like, no, that's not why I'm doing this. So not for a long time.
I know I've heard people talking about working for Intuit, like QuickBooks Live, and I don't know for sure, but I think they may require a wired connection, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Well, it's just something to maybe something to ask them or to be aware of, that it may require a wired internet connection.
Audrey's asking, what document management software do you use?
Document management
so it's the scanning and how you're paperless. How do you make sure you're paperless? Dropbox, Google Drive, what are you doing?
Yes.
Okay.
I use all of them. I actually have ShareFile.
Okay.
I pay for ShareFile from Citrix because I use sensitive data for taxes. I don't think bank statements are quite as sensitive as, social security numbers, birth dates, all of that. They do have an address on there, so they could be sensitive data. But I use ShareFile because I also need the signature aspect of it.
Okay. Trisha asked what mail service you're using. Can you share that?
Yeah, I use St. Brendan's Isle, and they're out of Florida.
St. Brandon or Brendan?
Brendan.
St. Brendan's Isle. Okay.
Yeah. And there's tons of options. So yeah, they're not the only ones.
Someone earlier had asked, I can't see all the comments. So if y'all ask a question and I don't chime in, it's because I'm not seeing it. But I do recall someone asking about what's unique about your marketing, that you're an RV bookkeeper. So you're not in any BNI groups, obviously. You're not doing that sort of thing. You're not doing the same monthly business networking groups or whatever. So how's that changed? What recommendations do you have? How do you get clients?
Oh, I mean, marketing is a whole other ballgame, right?
Well, what about RV marketing? So you how do you do the virtual? You have to be a virtual, or maybe not. Maybe are you getting clients everywhere you
Well,
go?
no. So for me personally, my target market are RVers, RV business owners.
Okay.
And so I have a blog. I mean, I have built like 3 years now on a blog and just my name. And
Okay.
my blog talks all about being an RV. It's a lot of tax related stuff because that is the biggest component of my business. But I do bookkeeping for many of them as well. And so to me, it's just networking, meeting people. And, I don't think if you're not going to be concentrating on RVers as your clientele and your niche, then you don't even, I mean, virtual bookkeepers are even like, you work from your home office, right? So it doesn't even need to be advertised that you live in an RV if you don't want to. But I really recommend like picking a niche. I think I saw you talking about Mark Wickersham. I know he does like the fat free pricing, but there's other people that are similar to him, maybe not talking about pricing, but picking a niche. So picking like lawyers, or dentists or home moms or something that run businesses or whatever it happens to be, like pick that niche, focus on that, and target them for your marketing.
Okay. I mean, that's
makes sense.
Yeah, no, I guess that's pretty standard advice. I was just thinking that,
Yeah.
so some people I think are better skilled than others at like the in-person networking component of marketing. And you
maybe
kind of lose that if you become an
turn
RV.
to turn that, LinkedIn is really great for that. I know it's not in person, but that's really what LinkedIn is for. It's social media for business, essentially. So that's a great way to target clients or potential customers. And that, like, especially if you go somewhere for 6 months, you can join into meetings. Maybe the Chamber of Commerce or something has, business meetings that you could attend. Like if that's really how you do your best work, there are ways to combat that.
Sure. Yeah, concentrating on, I'm thinking of, another way to build business would be like try to develop a strong referral program. So the person who asked this question, if you are concerned about that, I could see how, Heather started her business locally. And even though she did say she lost some clients, like if you know that, okay, in 3 years, I want to be in an RV, working hard to get clients locally, if that's what you're good at, and then developing some sort of a referral program where those clients are bringing you business, that might be a good way to kind of combat the not being able to meet people in person. But there are so many resources available to train people how to build their business virtually, like LinkedIn trainings and learning how to do a blog.
Bookkeepers aren't the only ones nowadays working virtually. So there's tons of ways to do it. Just which avenue works best for you.
All right. I think I have asked all my questions. So I think you'll be a real encouragement to people who are wanting to do this. So many people are, it's kind of a dream. They don't want to be tied down. They want to go see, and you don't have to stop. You don't have to put your business on hold. This is actually like a really good business to do this if it's your goal. I can almost see the idea of, okay, someone who wants to be an RVer, and then they start to think, well, what can I do to feed myself? And then they arrive at virtual bookkeeping, versus lots of people come to virtual bookkeeping first, and they think this is the job that I want. But for those of you who are listening to this could be something that you could teach yourself to do, and knowing that it would be a really good kind of logistical fit.
On that whole thing is like, you can pick how many clients you have. So if you're like, hey, I only need whatever, $2,000 a month to live, like you can have, that's your business. Like you limit that, and maybe you're only working 20 hours a week or something. And that's your choice. And that's what I love about it, is the flexibility, and to make it fit for you, your family, your lifestyle, and it's up to you how much money you want to make or how many hours you want to work.
Okay. All right. Well, someone's asking about the name of your blog, but I don't have any more questions. So if you could, how can we find you if anyone wants to reach out? I mean, I know you're Heather Diamond Ryan in our Facebook group, but is there any way other folks can find you on social media or anything like that?
Well, my business is the tax queen. So again, I told you taxes are my primary, bookkeeping is the secondary part.
Okay.
So my website is tax-queen.com. I do have a business Facebook page, which is Ryan Tax Queen. And I'm on LinkedIn as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Is it safe for us to ask where you are right now? I don't know. Maybe that's like against the RVer code. Where are you?
It's fine. I'm in Arizona right now, Southern Arizona.
So. Arizona. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Staying warm for winter with snowbirds.
Okay. So you say Florida is kind of where you're domiciled, but do you have a place that you really feel like you're in that is home in your heart? Where is that? Is that north? When you said snowbirds, I thought maybe like
I don't.
No. Okay.
Well, I grew up in New England.
Okay.
So that's like, I guess, home if you really think about it.
Sure.
Like where you grew up. A lot of my family has left the area. Like my mom has retired to Florida. So yeah,
there you go.
We still have ties. We launched from Denver. My husband is from Denver. So we still have family there. So that's why I say snowbirds, because I don't have to put up with snow anymore.
Is the phrase "we launch" is that an RV thing? Is that like what does that mean?
When you hit the road.
So sometimes you stay
and the date.
Okay, and sometimes you feel like even though you're sleeping in the RV, you're not really on the road. Like when you go to Denver, you're not on the road.
Sure. Yeah. I mean.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure it out.
No, it's like, I guess that's the benefit of having the RV is that it's always comfortable, right? It's always your bed. You have a kitchen and a refrigerator, and it's like your creature comforts. Versus when you have to stay in a hotel or like an Airbnb or something, it's all new. And maybe not as comfortable to you. And like, even if you have an Airbnb and you can cook there, it's still not your kitchen. You're not familiar with it. Like, so that's the benefit of it, is that we always feel like we're at home no matter where we parked, even if the scenery outside changes.
Okay. So I do have a question. How long are you going to do this?
We do not have an end.
Okay. So maybe forever? do you think it could be forever?
Probably not forever. I think we'll definitely have a home base at some point.
Okay.
But I think people that are drawn to this lifestyle enjoy travel in general. And this is a way to make it work, to balance that travel and work. When normally you might only get like 2 weeks, 3 weeks vacation kind of thing. This way we can travel and explore and still have time for working. So.
Have you ever, left the RV and gone and gotten the hotel or the Airbnb internationally and taken your work with you? Never tried to do the work from another country?
So we haven't, because we have dogs.
Okay.
And so I guess I should take that back. We have taken the RV to Canada. Does that count?
Okay. Hey, sure. Yes. You have to have a passport to go there now. So that's good. I mean,
correct.
It's international.
So we have taken the RV with the whole house to Canada. As far as flying, we typically will avoid flying, both of us, because of our dogs. It's a whole other topic of, pets, traveling with pets, to find care for them on the road and to leave them behind. Especially if we went international, we'd want to do, longer, like at least 2 weeks kind of thing. And it's just tough for all involved. So we're sticking mostly to North America right now.
Awesome. This is a little bit silly, and it's kind of a joke, but I don't know if you've seen that I have the sticker on my laptop that says "Need a bookkeeper? Let's talk." You could like put that in your window, so when you go to the park, all those people who are everyone doing their online job, and they go out to get some sunshine. They're like, "Oh yeah, look at that lady over there. I should go knock on her door." Awesome. Well, I am so glad you talked to us. I think you've given us the highlights. You've given us a taste of what this is like, and people can reach out to if you want more. But congrats on the successful business, and for giving us some wisdom. And
thanks for having me here.
Maybe you'll see some of these people on the road. And since you're a tax gal, the tax queen, I will let you get back to your taxes. I'm sure you are up to your neck in the taxes. So I wish you well until April 15th, and then you can go drive. You can launch from Arizona to somewhere else and relax.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you so much for doing this, guys. We're going to sign off. Yeah, done for the day. Take care. Bye.